So let me ask you something. What's the one task that you've been carrying around in your mind for days or maybe even weeks? You wake up in the morning thinking about it. You go to bed at night thinking about it. You may even think about it during the day. But guess what? It never gets done. I have a solution for getting those tasks done. Let's talk about it. Hi, and welcome to Ask Lois, the Relatable Therapist. My name is Lois Godot, and I'm a licensed clinical mental health therapist. And on this channel, I blend current events with personal reflection, and I add in practical mental health skills for mental wellness. I get my inspiration from different places. I get it from reality TV, blogs, whatever's going on in those YouTube streets, and whatever's going on in the world. And I bring it to you so I can help you apply these skills in a practical way. So let's get started. Can we be honest for a minute? At one time or another, we all procrastinate. Maybe it was putting off a work project. Maybe it was delaying conversation, avoiding that doctor's appointment, or even waiting until the last minute to pay a bill. Then, before you know it, you're rushing to get everything done and you're feeling overwhelmed. Or worse yet, it just doesn't get done within the time frame that you need. As a therapist, I've sat with so many people from different walks of life, and I've learned one thing is that procrastination isn't usually about laziness. More often than not, it's a protective response. Sometimes we're avoiding failure. Sometimes we're avoiding disappointment. And sometimes we're avoiding uncomfortable emotions that come with something that we are not comfortable with. So today I want to share one of my favorite productivity metaphors. Wait for it. It's called eat the frog. Now, before you click away, don't worry. I'm not talking about eating an actual frog. There's a famous quote that has been attributed to Mark Twain. And in it, it says, if your job is to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat two frogs, eat the biggest one first. What does that mean? The point is simple. The frog represents the task that you have been avoiding, the one that's probably the most important, but also the most difficult. And so for most people, the morning is when your mind is the freshest and your energy is the highest. And so with eat the frog metaphor technique, it is assumed or it is suggested that you eat the frog in the morning because, again, that's where you have the most energy. If you do it in the morning, you won't spend the day worrying about that big task because you tackle it first. You won't be spending that time with all of your mental energy and wasting it saying, I'll do it later. I just need to get in the right mood, or even I'll start tomorrow. So that one task that follows us around all day and creates stress because we never got started, it doesn't do that anymore. So let me give you some examples. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack, and the longer you wear it, the heavier it feels. But the moment you take it off, immediately it feels lighter. And that's exactly what happens when you eat the frog. Again, backpack, heavy, take it off, lighter. So let me give you a few examples of eating the frog. So let's just say if you are a student, your frog might be writing that research paper that you've been avoiding and putting off. I'm guilty of that. I told you I'm back in school, and sometimes I wait to the last minute. So instead of answering those emails that I like to look at or through social media, spend your first hour writing the paper. If you're a business owner, your frog might be making sales call or even sending out the invoices that you've been putting off. If you're looking for a new job, your frog might be updating your resume or submitting applications instead of endlessly researching jobs. If you're trying to improve your health, your frog might be getting out of bed and exercising. or even changing your diet. If you're avoiding a difficult conversation with your spouse, your child, your friend, or even your coworker, your frog might be scheduling that conversation instead of letting the problem grow bigger and bigger. Even sometimes your frog might be simple as cleaning that one room that you've been avoiding. That can become your frog. Did you notice something that I just did? I named different types of frogs because for everyone, their frog looks different. As a therapist, I want to point out that procrastination isn't always about poor time management. We've heard that before. You procrastinate because you don't have time management. You procrastinate because you just don't know how to fit it into your schedule. Mm-mm. Sometimes procrastination is rooted in a fear of failure. If I start it, I might not finish it. Sometimes it's about perfection. I don't have the time to do it the way I want to do it, so I'm not going to do it, or it has to be done a certain way. Sometimes procrastination is rooted in anxiety. Sometimes it's feeling emotionally overwhelmed, like this is just too big and too much to do. If that's you, don't beat yourself up. Instead, ask yourself, what am I really avoiding? If you think about what you're avoiding, that question can reveal more than just, I don't feel like doing it. It can be all of those things I mentioned. It could be anxiety. It could be perfection. It could be fear. It could be anxiety. So ask yourself, why don't I want to do it? So here's some ways you can start using the eat the frog technique. Number one, identify the biggest, most important task. What is it that I need to get done? Number two, prepare for the task. Once you've identified your frog, make sure you have all the resources and all the information needed to tackle it because preparation is very important. Now, I'm going to tell you one of my frogs is I loathe doing laundry. I would rather clean the bathroom than do laundry. Maybe it's because I had to do it growing up. I don't know, but my frog is doing the laundry. So if I follow these steps, the first one is to identify the task, it's doing the laundry. Then the next one would be to prepare for the task. So for me, I would make sure I have the laundry basket. I would make sure that I had my hangers, anything that I would need. So I wouldn't have to go and look for it because as soon as I go look for it, I might get busy and distracted and start doing something else. So for me, I need to make sure that I prepare for the task. The next one, number three, is create a focused environment. For me, because I don't like doing laundry, maybe I'll turn on some music. Maybe I'll turn on a TV so I can watch something while I'm doing the laundry. That's how I would create my environment. Number four, dive in first thing in the morning, meaning that before I check my social media, before I get distracted doing all the other things, start doing that laundry. Because I've let it linger, it might be piles of laundry. So maybe I'll do the pants first, or maybe the shirt, or maybe the socks. These socks are always getting lost. So the socks, I really have to prepare for it and make sure I find all the matching socks because not doing the socks can really get me distracted. And so I would break it into smaller steps if it feels overwhelming. And number, I don't know if I'm five or six, celebrate completing it before moving on to a less important task. So when I finish, I may give myself a snack. I may do something that would reward myself. I may sit down for 15 minutes. I may watch a TV show, but reward myself and celebrate myself for doing the task. If I repeat the habit every day, it will become part of my routine. Repeating the habit of eating the frog first, the most difficult task for that day. Because one of the benefits of eating the frog is that it really does improve the work-life balance. It improves being able to balance what I need to do and what I am doing. Because when the most important work is finished early, you spend much less time worrying about it throughout the day. When you're not worrying about it, you're more present with your family, friends, you're less stressed in the evening, and you don't end your day carrying unfinished responsibilities into the next day, worrying about, okay, when am I going to get this done? How can I get this done? There's a disclaimer to this because some people may find that they're more productive in the evening. at the nighttime. Maybe they're a nighttime. They're a night owl. Maybe they're more creative at nighttime. And so their frog eating may come later in the day. It doesn't matter. The key is to recognize when you're at your peak for productivity. That's why we said for some people it's in the morning. But the most important thing is when are you at your peak and to get it done. Because remember, the frog doesn't get any smaller because you wait. In fact, it usually feels bigger. Go back to my laundry example. When I don't do the laundry, now it's piling up, piling up, piling up. It doesn't shrink, it starts piling up. So it gets bigger. So tomorrow morning, instead of asking yourself, what do I feel like doing? Ask yourself, what is my frog today? Then eat it. Eat it first. And you might be surprised at how much lighter and how much more productive you feel. So I'd like to know what your frog is. Write it down below. Let's encourage each other to stop procrastinating and start making progress. And let's eat one frog at a time. If you like it, go ahead and share this video so other people can enjoy it also. And make sure you subscribe so you'll know when I post my next video. If this video encouraged you, let me know. Put it down in the comments. What is a frog that you've been avoiding? Remember, make mental wellness a choice and not an option.